Hey, today I wanted to read to you a curious case from my book, Curious Cases, a series of short pastoral case studies. This case study is entitled Relating Jesus to the Needs of the Time. Pastor Joseph Lee is elated by his new call to Sunset Lutheran Church in the affluent Old City neighborhood of Bellersville. It is far from his previous congregation on the outskirts of a declining small city. Bellersville has the best of premium urban amenities, yet has easy access to gorgeous wooded parks and the ocean. Each Saturday night, Pastor Lee enjoys his favorite jazz clubs until early on Sunday morning. He then heads directly to church to lead worship. His congregation loves their new pastor's style. A mere 5 months after his arrival, Pastor Lee spearheads a church plant by Sunset Lutheran Church inside of his favorite spot, the Old House of Bourbon Jazz Club. The name Pastor Lee gives this satellite is Bourbon Jazz Lutheran Church. People from far and wide journey to the famous jazz club for great music and dynamic, Christ-centered sermons. Within 3 years of Bourbon Jazz Lutheran Church's founding, it swells to over 400 members, and Lutheran churches throughout the country have copied their ministry model by founding churches and jazz clubs, bars, and coffee houses. Amazingly, one Lutheran pastor by the name of Krager Cunningham writes on a famous blog, "The Reverend Joseph Lee has led our church down a dangerous path. We should not strive to conform to the ways of the world, but instead should be set apart as holy. From what I know, Pastor Joseph Lee is not even wearing a clerical collar in most of his services. Shameful. The church is not to be a whore to the world, but instead it should be a shining example of doctrinal purity in the midst of the pagans." One blogger responds to this pastor's comments by writing, "First of all, it is always good to speak with a brother in Christ directly whenever you have a concern and put the best construction on things. I know Pastor Joseph Lee, and he is a faithful pastor and theologian who loves Jesus. Why on earth would any Christian be upset with them or churches with a similar ministry style?" The blogger receives no response from Pastor Krager Cunningham. Please thoughtfully answer the following questions. What is your opinion of Pastor Joseph Lee planting a church in the Old House of Bourbon Jazz Club and naming it Bourbon Jazz Lutheran Church? Second question, what is your opinion of what Pastor Krager Cunningham wrote on the famous blog about Pastor Joseph Lee and the congregation of Bourbon Jazz Lutheran Church? Third question, how do you feel about the response of the blogger to Pastor Krager Cunningham's comments? Fourth question, are there any passages from the scriptures that come to your mind while reflecting on this case study? Okay, that was the case study entitled Relating Jesus to the Needs of the Time from my book that's been out a little over a year. I guess I would still consider it a new book. It's entitled Curious Cases, a series of short pastoral case studies. One of my favorite professors, Ben Haupt, he wrote the foreword to this. It's filled with useful and fun stories, 150 case studies. They're great for getting conversation going, thinking about things in like a missional way. One of my other favorite professors at St. Louis, Dale Meyer, he would always say a good preacher should have a newspaper in one hand and a Bible in the other. In other words, we should be engaging the culture, aware of what's going on in our world, thinking about things that talking through those things as well, talking through messy things. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Oh yeah, and I'm wearing my Concordia University Ann Arbor shirt today, one of my Concordia shirts. I'm an alumnus of Concordia Ann Arbor. Pray for the people up there. Pray